If you're going to JC1 next year, this is the full timeline to expect for your H2 math journey. Now, just a caveat, some schools may vary slightly from this timeline in terms of when they teach the topic, but generally the topics in this video will be all the topics that you will be learning in J1, right? So the order might vary slightly from school to school, but by the end of the year, you will have learned all these topics on the screen over here already. Apart from giving you the general timeline as to what to expect, another thing that you might want to consider is asking yourself, how would I like to pace myself throughout the year? Because I will also be giving you the difficulty of the topics and the kind of workload that you can expect to manage. So let's just look at term 1 first. For term 1, term 2, you will typically be learning these 4 topics over here. At the end of February, that's when you get your secondary school results, and then you'll be going to J1 and starting school. You have your orientation, which is about half a month. You start school proper towards the end of March. From term 1 onwards, once school starts, that's where they immediately start picking up the pace. So for the JC side, there is really not much slow start. Once it starts, it really starts. And you will be greeted with these 4 topics, usually within your first 2 terms, up until functions. Some schools might omit functions and put it into term 3, but the faster schools will put it inside these 2 terms over here. So what I would say is that these 4 topics, if you watch my other series on this channel where I rate the topics and the difficulty, as you can see over here, these 4 topics are not difficult, but what they are a lot of volume required. So you need to allocate time, like seriously sit down and allocate time to practice these 4 topics, because these 4 topics form the foundation of your H2 math syllabus. And if you do not put enough time, especially at the start, towards the back, when the topics get even harder, you'll realize that your foundations will crumble. And that's why people do not promote towards the end of J1, simply because they do not have the tenacity for the earlier topics. So I would say at the start of term 1, term 2, it's not the time for you to slack, right? A lot of people think that, oh, I just work hard towards the end of the year, but that's absolutely false. You need to put time and effort, especially at the start. Which brings me to term 3, you have these 2 topics, which is your differentiation and integration. Now, if you took A math in secondary school, you realize that the differentiation here is similar to what you learned in secondary school. I'm talking about rate of change, maximization, minimization problems, laws of differentiation, so on and so forth. It's just that over here, they add a few more laws of differentiation and the questions are a little bit tougher. Now, if you're just talking about the type of concepts tested, you already know it. And for integration, it's also about the same. It's just that now they add one more topic, which is finding the volume using integration. So you know how to find area under curve. Now you need to find volume generated by rotating the curve about an axis. So that's the new concept. But I would say that as long as you put in the effort for term 1 and term 2, keep up the effort, right? You can afford to slow down a little bit because all these topics are not foreign to you anymore, especially if you took A math in secondary school. Which brings me on to the last term, term 4, vectors. This is by far the hardest J1 topic that a lot of J2s still struggle until today. Go slowly, especially for the first part of vectors where they teach you the basics of vectors. Make sure to follow up and check my YouTube channel because I post videos every single day to teach you every single concept from the H2 math syllabus from scratch. I'm doing this to help you study math for free. I'll see you in the next video.